Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Not Just Leadership podcast hosted by Global Institute for Leadership. My name's Dominic, and really grateful to be joining you live from Honiara, Solomon Islands, our first episode overseas, and joined here by Tréannah from Nauru. And really excited for today's conversation on leadership, learn a little bit about Nauru, the world's smallest republic, and learn some local lessons that Tréannah's learnt from her experiences both in Nauru, Australia, and around the Pacific. So Tréannah, please introduce yourself, your full name, and a little bit about your background and Nauru.
Hello, thank you, Dominic, for inviting me to this podcast. I'm really honored, and I praise God for this opportunity to talk to you and be on this. So my full name actually is Eirububwin Tréannah Dabwido. Eirububwin is my Nauruan name, and Tréannah is my second name, which most people they commonly know me as, just because it's easier for everyone. And everyone can just call me Trey. And I'm 27 years old, currently serving as PIA member in Nauru. And I also wear other hats in the community in Nauru. I also serve as a volunteer for the Nauru National Youth Council. I also volunteer for the Menyang Youth Fellowship, which is a church-based, faith-based youth group. And in Nauru, currently I work as the Run for Sport Secretary for the mining company. And my background is mainly administration. Just I really enjoy being that support system for a team. And I've had experiences growing up through Brisbane in the Queensland Nauru community, served as a general secretary for a few years, served as co-president of the community for 1 year, and really enjoy serving my community, giving back, and being part of a community that sees the youth strive and empower them through opportunities and giving them the space to grow. Like, we would host events and ask them to do plays about local legends to encourage and inspire them to embrace their culture, or reaching out to other communities like the Pacifica Vibes Festival one time to engage them in the activities, to perform for shows, showcase their culture. Um, Culture is also one of my passion. I really enjoy sharing my culture around the world, and here in Honiara with the PIA Summit. And I also would like to say, Nauru is not always known, in the media. A lot of negative news about Nauru, but we're not just about that. We're not just the image that the media portrays for us. We are very friendly people. We're only a country of around 11 to 12,000 people. Nauru is a tiny island. You can go around it in 25 minutes. Usually, if you want to hitchhike, if you're a tourist, you hitchhike. We're very friendly people. We'll give you a ride, talk to you, show you around. We're very accommodating. And our culture, we're very proud of it. And we hope to, show people that we're not just the negative image that the media portrays us to be.
So what does it mean to you then to be Nauruan?
For me, personally, because we're only a very small population, it really means so much to me, especially considering our history with Angam Day that recently happened last month, October 26th. Angam Day, for brief context, twice in history, our race nearly died and we nearly became extinct, because internationally, for a race to survive, you need to have at least 1,500 people. But after World War I and World War II, our numbers dropped to under that number. And so now we're, 10, 11,000 people. It really shows our resilience as a people, and it shows how strong we are despite the circumstances we're in. And so for me, my culture, my identity is really something special to hold, and for me to have that responsibility to keep it alive and share it around and show people that we're not just the phosphate mining company. We're not just the country that has bad history with government and governance. We're not just that. We're more than that. We're warm, embracing people. We're kind people. We're strong. We have grown really thick skin throughout our history, and so it's a really, really special thing for me to, and for example, being part of this youth summit, I'm the only Nauruan here, and I'm really enjoying this experience by telling the other delegates who are from Melanesia, mostly Melanesia, that, I'm from Micronesia. This is me. This is my country, and I'm proud to be an ambassador for my country to showcase my pride. Yeah.
You're our first guest from Nauru and
Yeah, thank
Micronesia.
you.
Hopefully not the last.
Hopefully,
Definitely not.
yes.
So Nauru with such a small population that obviously would bring a lot of challenges and opportunities too. Like
Yeah.
you obviously have a very close community. What's your reflections on that? Like in terms of the local challenges, but also like what do you see as a benefit in having such a small population?
A challenge would be locally, for example, I reckon getting funds to support initiatives. Sometimes a downside of being a small country, and can I say this? If you're not really well connected, networked, it could be a challenge. But then I also see that as a great opportunity for the youth to empower themselves, to give them the confidence to, just because you're not well connected, just because you don't have the as much resources as other countries, for example, it gives you the strength and the hunger to do more about it and pushes you to be out of your comfort zone,
Yeah.
to step up and do something about it and actually action those words. And so that
Because you're
is,
very good at, like, I've seen from my observations, you're very resourceful and
yeah, we need to
fun, like good
be.
at fundraising, good at pulling together.
Yeah, we need to be considering, we're not as big and as influential as other countries in the world, not as recognized. But I think that only, for me personally, it makes me want to do more for my community and help others do more for their community. Maybe not at the, higher levels, but mostly community level. That's where we can push as youths, push ourselves to do more things about it and to not give up. Maybe some sponsors might reply and say, sorry, no, it just, we don't, that's an opportunity for you to, really understand that, control your emotions, don't take it personal, don't just, burn the bridge, make respectable, honorable decisions to, keep that bridge open, not burn it, and then just keep moving on. Don't lose hope, don't lose faith. But so that's a challenge, but it also presents a challenge, for the youth to step up. And then the thing about being a smaller community, smaller island, we know each other. Everyone's well connected. I've gained a lot of friends throughout the youth groups that I'm a part of, and we've built our own support system, and we trust each other to lean on each other, especially during workshop planning. Sometimes one group member may be feeling down, going through something. It's not even a question. We ask them, are you okay? They may not be able to, mental health is still an issue. They may not be able to express how they're feeling, but we can just tell because we've grown up with each other. We know how you feel despite you're not saying it. And so that's the benefit of being such a smaller community. We're more in tune with other people's emotions and more in tune to be more empathetic and know when to step in and know when to step back.
And what about for you personally, like your leadership journey? Because I definitely view you as a leader in Nauru and in the region. So why did you start to step into these leadership roles and what was like the beginning of that?
I would honestly all pay it back to my parents, my dad especially. He has been a role model for me regarding leadership and how to navigate through things, especially when the journey gets tough, how to be able to control your emotions, how to still be able to handle things when it may not go as planned, when things arise, unexpected things arise. His number one advice throughout my whole life is to control your emotions because we are not in control of everything. Nothing goes to plan most of the time, but we can control our own emotions and how we react and approach to the situation. And if you just have a remain level-headed and calm, you're able to have more clarity in making your decisions and making a more strategic and better decision. Say, if you lose control, you may lose your anger. Your anger may affect the person you're having, relations with. They burn that bridge, and that bridge is gone. And there will be chance for reconciliation, but it's going to be a more tough time for you both to reconcile and come together because everything is all about community. God made this earth for us to have community, and we need a good relationship with everyone despite our different values, despite our different beliefs. So my leadership inspiration is my dad and how he handles things, even though he's taking the brunt of things. He's taking it all emotionally, mentally. It's a draining thing. But he said leadership is should not be viewed as a burden. It should be viewed as something to give back. And my leadership inspiration starts there, and then from then on, I've been fortunate to be in spaces, be invited to spaces, to be mostly the support, just the admin, but and I see now that's my strength, and I really hone to being the background person because that's where I see the work is done. Because you need a good team, but you also need a really good support person who is level-headed and can see other things around that's happening that your other team members may not see. Just to have a person who's the anchor and then help in each area to the whatever capacity they're in.
So you've been that support person, I guess, through the Queensland Nauru community
Yes.
as one example.
Yes.
Other organisations that you've been a part of, you touched on it earlier, but can you expand a little bit?
So mostly church youth groups. In Brisbane, I was part of a church youth group, and now in Nauru, I'm also part of a church youth group. I always put up my hand because leadership is also always about serving. So you serve in whatever capacity. I can be the kitchen cleaner at the one event or the next event. I'm the coordinator. Just always be open and remain humble and have humility when you're serving, because leadership comes in all shapes and sizes. Like, you lead yourself the minute you wake up in the morning, how you lead and how you lead the day. And so those examples, mainly the church and Paya recently last year with the summit, that really opened my eyes to being put in a situation to create something for the first time in Micronesia and Nauru, a summit for international delegates, and doing all the logistics and working with a team that I've never worked with before. So that really pushed me and helped me grow as a person and as a leader. And from then, I've just been invited to other events. Most recently, the Micronesian Festival and Micronesian pageants, the first of its kind for both in the region and the Pacific. We had our Micronesian Festival from October 6th to October 9th, and I was fortunate enough to be invited to be part of the team to help organize that. And yeah, I did my same role to just be that support system, to take minutes, simple little things like, asking how the team is going, organizing with the VIPs and sponsors and the artists that came to the island. Yeah, it's just all about networking, building good relationships, friendships along the way. And yeah, those are some spaces I've been fortunate enough to step in and help.
Yeah. You're obviously very passionate about your community and giving back. Where do you see, because as youth we're building this path for the future.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself going, like in the years to come or decades to come, in terms of personal, professional life? Like, what's your ambitions?
Next year, I'm returning back to finish off my degree in business, commerce, and administration online. So that's where I hope to see myself in, get that done, and then pursue a master's. And then along the way, so I want to also volunteer, keep volunteering, obviously with PIA, obviously with the Nauru National Youth Council, and also through just our family business for freight forwarding. That's where I also want to see my business grow, our family business grow, to help the communities. For instance, in Nauru and Kiribati, our operations there are going good, and we are we want to cater to the smaller people, the less fortunate people who are still want to order online, just example, but we have the cheapest rate. We try to keep things minimal to serve them, to help them, so their businesses can grow. Even though necessarily we're sacrificing a lot, but for my family and myself, it really gives us that passion to serve others, to see others grow and benefit from the things that we learned from our experience growing up and seeing them flourish and helping our community better themselves.
Yeah, awesome. And is there been particular, like, one big challenge along the way, or multiple challenges, like, that you've ever kind of wanted to give up, or you just...
Yeah, I think everyone has those days where things get tough and you really question yourself if you're the right person. Having those days of feeling doubt, having self-doubts, and just not everyone knows what happens in your mind and what happens behind closed doors. In front of everyone, you're a bubbly person and everything, but you never know what happens throughout some person's life. A big challenge for me was growing up. I was diagnosed with endometriosis, and I'm more vocal about it only recently this year, but I've had it for since I was 12, but I was only properly diagnosed in 2021 when I was 23. I've had 2 surgeries so far. And so, yeah, that's a health challenge. And I'm sure other people, even though health challenges, the pain you go through is not physical, you know, a way I handle it is through having my faith and my strong relationship, or trying, my best every day to strengthen, keep my relationship good with God. So he keeps me in check, and having a good support system helps me, especially because growing up, my physical health affected my mental health, and I just, it wasn't great. But despite all that, I think my mentality, I think sometimes I'm too optimistic. I think my mentality is too strong, which is a good thing sometimes, because even though I may be in pain, I take my medication sometimes. I still want to go out and be part of it. I get FOMO.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
live your life.
yeah, I just want to live life like everyone else. Like Jesus said, John 10:10, the enemy came to kill, steal, and destroy, but I came to give you a better life, to have a prosperous life. And I'm like, yeah, I want a prosperous life, but
You have to believe it.
I have to
Live it
believe
out.
it, even though some things may hold me back, like my own health. But if you stay optimistic and have that good relationship with God, you'll be fine.
Yeah, amen. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, here in Solomon Islands at a Youth Leadership Summit, what's traveling throughout the Pacific and being here in the Solomon Islands, what have you learned so far, like personal level or leadership level?
I've learned from the youth here that lifestyle wise and culture wise, they just live it, like, and it's very, very strong, and they don't question it. They don't question their identity. And I was very inspired, because some other islands, or some other, some people as islanders might feel that they've lost touch with their culture and their sense of identity. But here it's so strong. Like, you see it, like everyone's just still, it's a regular thing. They cook the local foods regularly. Whereas some other islanders, they're used to fast food, junk food, just because of the convenience and modernization of the world. But here, they still hold on strong to it, and it's not even a question for them to, you know, want to go the easy way of just ordering fast food or something. And that helped me really appreciate my culture, or what's left of it at least. And I learned a lot from them that it's just life. That's our life here. But other people look at us and they're like, wow, take a picture. Very touristy mindset. And I learned that, when you have that strong sense of family, strong sense of identity, you don't question who you are, and you just go through life laid back, chill, not so serious when you need to be, but you know there's a reason why they call it the Happy Isles here in Solomon Islands. It's because they have that strong sense of culture, identity, and they still uphold their traditional values.
Yeah. What's some of the food in Nauru that you like to eat, or you'd like to see more people enjoy?
I want them to enjoy the raw tuna, just raw, straight from the ocean. Nothing.
That's the delicacy.
That's it. That's a delicacy. Maybe some coconut milk and onions, salt on it with rice. But yes, I was asking some of the local delegates and international delegates about if they would like to eat raw fish, tuna. Some were like looking at me crazy.
Yeah.
But I was like, hey,
salmon's strong when it's raw,
salmon,
but I haven't.
yeah. Tuna.
I haven't tried raw tuna.
Nauru
I like cooked
tuna.
tuna. So.
Nauru tuna. Yeah, cooked tuna is nice too.
Yeah.
Raw tuna from Nauru is different. You can taste the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Freshness.
raw tuna, guys.
Yeah, there you go. On the menu. I don't really have any other questions, I feel.
Yeah, that's okay.
Any final words of encouragement or inspiration you can give to people watching out there? Might not be young people, might just be people interested in leadership. What would you say?
Firstly is the thing that my dad always tells me: control your emotions. You can't control everything around you, but you can control your emotions. You take a breather, step back, clear your mind, do whatever you need to do to clear your mind. Take a walk, take a a nap, food.
Break.
Yeah, and really stabilize yourself. And another thing is to always pray through highs and lows. Always pray and praise God for all He's done, and always remember God's plan is better than your own. Even though you're planning towards something and it may not go as planned, don't give up, because God's got something greater for you.
Yeah, great.
That's all.
Well, thanks, Tréannah, for joining us.
Thank you, Dominic.
Our first Nauruan representative.
Thank you.
Hopefully the next Nauruan guest will be on island in country.
Yeah.
Who knows, in 2026.
Yeah, come.
That's on the agenda. But thanks everyone for joining into our leadership, not just leadership podcast today here live from Solomon Islands. We really hope you've enjoyed this conversation, and stay tuned for more episodes coming for the rest of 2025 and into next year. Take care and see you later.